Hello, this is Paranormal Girl, and today I'm going to talk about the Indigo children and the Crystal children. With eyes that are radiant wonder, with smiles that warm the hearts, and with laughter that lulls worries, children are true gifts for the world. Their pureness and their presence are inspirations for all of us to live fiercely and to look at the world of beauty, energy, and enthusiasm. We are all children in this great sphere of awe, mystery, and exploration. There are those who walk among us who see and sense beyond all that we can. They are children who are the gifts of perception, bearers of light and love, defenders of humanity through personal sacrifices and defiant pursuits. They are the Indigo and Crystal children. The Indigo children. Indigo children are here with us to lead us closer to our true essence. We usually think that our minds are different entities from each other, and we usually perceive that you and I are different individuals because we have different bodies and we have different life experiences. But the Indigo children know the truth. They can traverse across between physical and unseen worlds and know our oneness. Nancy Ann Tapp has paved the way to the discovery of the Indigo child. As the teacher and counsellor, she drew a deep curiosity and passion in studying the electromagnetic field of human beings. She was able to find out the colours surrounding our bodies, so she came up with an auric colour method to profile a person psychologically. Back in the 1950s, she was able to see a few Indigo children. But here's a revelation. There was an increase in the population in the 80s until today. This means that these Indigo children are among us, and chances are one of them is in our family and other closer circles. Indigo children can never hide how special they are and can identify them through these signs. They naturally recognize how unique and special they are. Even at a tender age, they just know they are different and empowered. They exude confidence and profound self-worth. They are strong-willed and independent. They do not believe in authority for dogma. They are wise and caring beyond their young bodies. They are not impacted by traditional parenting like being dictated on what or what not to do. They can be reactive emotionally. Some of them usually struggle with depression, anxiety, and melancholia. They recognize the weaknesses in our education system and are more attracted to experimental learning. They can sometimes feel lost and disconnected when they are not able to meet and connect with like-minded people. They are insightful and they usually think out of the box. They are restless and excited. Sometimes they are diagnosed with ADD or ADHD because they think quickly and require moving faster. They are very intuitive and can sense what is unseen and even unexplainable. They sometimes have difficult times trying to find out their real purpose in the world because they have many emotional and spiritual factors inside them and the lack of support outside. They are empathetic and sensitive, and they can tell if food or other stimulus is not good or healthy for them. They have incredible gifts, therefore they must be nurtured well. Crystal children. Crystal children are in our lives to guide us in loving, sensing, healing, and being fully alive. They carry the traits of the Indigo children in them, but they have heightened powers and psychic abilities with them. They are here because they know that humanity needs to change. Some of them were born in the 70s and 80s to find out if the world was ready, and in the 90s many of them were born to pave the way to a much better world for everyone. Unlike the Indigos, who are struggling with the exteriors of their lives, Crystal children have peace in which they are. They recognize that they have what it takes to save the world, and they strongly live for this calling. They don't have the dilemma of pleasing others and maximizing their utmost potentials. They just know that they're ready to follow their hearts and do amazing things for humanity and the planet. Ever wondered if someone close to you is actually a crystal child? Here are some of the characteristics you can examine further to affirm your current observations. They have psychic power. They can sense what is hidden. They can perceive what is uncertain. They are able to sing first before they can talk. They have a deep connection with music. They communicate richly and non-verbally. They honor honesty. They know when you are lying, and they honor truth in others and can sense authenticity. They are easygoing, friendly, and warm. They treat others like friends, and they are not fueled by suspicion when meeting strangers. They are highly sensitive to pollutants and other toxic elements in the environment, food, and even other people's behaviors. They are open to people who have open minds, hearts, and hands, and they delight in the humanness of others and value compassion and kindness at all times. They care for other beings around them, plants, animals, and even the smallest of creatures. They have a very strong relationship with natural environment, and they enjoy being out in nature, being close to bodies of water and under the stars. They do not fit in the usual mold of the ordinary child. Sometimes this can even lead to being diagnosed with autism. They thrive because they follow the songs of their souls. Let us celebrate having these indigo and crystal children among us. They are here to uphold the essential beauties in life. They are here to facilitate our journey closer to a deeper journey into our beings. Let us protect them and hold space to understand them. Together, we can make this planet the best home. So let's see 17 signs of what are known as indigo children. Indigo children are a new generation of gifted children blessed with supernatural abilities. They are more empathetic than beings than previous generations and are drawn to expressing themselves through their creativity. Indigo children are sensitive, curious, independent, open-minded, and artistic. They are intuitive and they are misunderstood by the status quo. Indigo children are said to have been born between 1978 and 1988. So let's have a look at the 17 signs. Number 1, you've never understood people who can be cold and calculating. Indigo children are identified because they are born with more empathy than past generations. At times they can feel that they're totally different species because, unlike so many other people, they can compartmentalize their feelings enough to treat people badly for an extended period of time. Number 2, you feel more than other people. You cry when movies are sad and belly laugh when they're funny. Whatever emotion you are feeling in the current moment, you feel it fully. Indigo children have advanced emotions and are so attuned to inner self that every feeling that bubbles to the surface feels more potent than it does for the others. Number 3, at times you struggle with being a pushover. This same sensitivity to the feelings of others cause problems in situations where they may be conflict. While indigo children are independent, they also feel for everyone and don't want to upset or disappoint others. Number 4, you struggled in school. While indigo children are highly intelligent, the way their mind works doesn't conform to traditional ways of thinking. They don't do well with rigid structure because they don't understand the need for it. Take an indigo child who is struggling in a traditional school into a less structured school and they will thrive. This is why it's common to see indigo children who are vicarious readers, curious and intelligent, but who have trouble reading what is assigned for their classes. For them to be successful, they have to be somewhat self-directed. Number 5, you've always had a strong desire to understand how things work. One of the main indicators of the indigo child is someone born with a much higher than normal sense of curiosity. Indigo children want to understand everything. They're the kids who can't stop asking why. While others will accept a trope answer, indigos want to dig below the surface until they truly understand the thing in question. Number 6, you've never been quite normal. Indigos often feel like outsiders growing up because their openness and empathy set them apart from how others feel, think, and act. Especially for children, this can be a hard time of learning how to trust your instincts. Number 7, you have a strong drive to find purpose in life. Indigo children are concerned with making life meaningful. Unlike people who are obsessed with career or financial success, or thrill-seeking, or even nihilism, the motivating force in an indigo's life is that they have a sense of fulfilling their purpose in being born. Number 8, you're drawn to spirituality but not dogmatic about religion. Indigo children are incredibly open-minded. They love to hear about religions and spiritual practices of all kinds, but it's very rare for one to adopt a rigid practice of their own. They prefer to mix and match from different traditions to suit their needs, never going so far down one path as to close the doors to the others. Number 9, you're interested in paranormal topics. It's natural that people as open-minded as indigo children would be interested in topics most people are closed to. They love learning about other explanations for the world around them, knowing how incomplete our current answers are. Number 10, you don't inherently respect authority. Indigo children aren't ones to be disrespectful, but they don't respect a rule simply because it's a rule. They want to understand why it's a rule, and then, if it makes sense, the indigo child will respect it. Number 11, you're more mature than most people our age. Indigo children often feel out of place when they are young because they are more independent, intelligent, and emotionally mature than other people their age. Well, this can cause problems early on. Generally, indigos figure out how to cope and will always have a feeling of a little bit like an outsider. Number 12, people have ever wondered if you have ADHD. Society is scared of people who are a little bit different, so we often try to give them a medical diagnosis to explain away their different way of being. Indigo children are commonly diagnosed with ADHD. It may be correct diagnosis for some, but for others, it may just be about the inability to accept new ways of thinking. Number 13, you are a gifted storyteller. Indigo children are known for their incredible imaginations, whether it's inventing a story to tell your little kid or keeping people entertained while talking about your day. No one can tell a story quite like you. Number 14, you easily get scared by horror movies. This is the downside of the indigo child's highly developed imagination. If they see one scary movie, they may still remember it 10 years later when they're in a dark and lonely setting. Number 15, you have a feeling you are special in some way, but not in a narcissistic way. This isn't to say that you think highly of yourself, or like you are going to be an important historical figure, just that you have a sense of duty and purpose in this life. You are here to make the world better, period. Number 16, you would rather be fulfilled than rich. Money means practically nothing to you past a certain point. Sure, you'd love to be rich, but if you have enough money to pay your bills and live comfortably, you aren't the kind of person who needs to have more than that. That is why indigo children often choose less lucrative but more fulfilling careers in the arts or in professions that help others. If, number 17, you have a creative outlet, whether it's music or painting, crafting or cooking, indigo children are all extremely creative people. Throughout their lives, they will always find a way to be creative in their job and home life, even if their explicitity creates pursuits never make them rich or famous. So I'm now going to talk about crystal children. Crystal children. No one forgives with more grace and love than a child. Real life preacher. The crystal children began to appear on the planet from about 1990 to 2010, although a few scouts came earlier. Their main purpose is to take us to the next level in our evolution and reveal to us our inner and higher power. They function as a group consciousness rather than as individuals, and they live by the law of one or global oneness. They are the advocates for love and peace on this planet. They are mostly born into the gold ray of incarnation and evolution, which means they have access to gifts of clairvoyance and healing. They are born on the sixth dimension of consciousness, with the potential to open up rapidly to the ninth dimensional level of full Christ consciousness, and then from there to the 13th dimension, which represents universal consciousness. Crystal children's auras aren't specifically opulent, but they are octarine, which is a color that isn't the normal visual range of the human eye, but it's the manifest color of the high magic, and on another color octave entirely. They have a beautiful pastel hue to them. To the untrained eye, it appears to be without color at all. Therefore, crystal, but the extremely high frequency of the energy field is what gives it away. The first thing you will recognize about crystal children is their forgiving nature. They are very sensitive, warm, and caring. Don't mistake these characteristics as a sign of weakness, as crystal children are also very powerful. The crystal child is incredibly sensitive, which stems from the ability to feel universal consciousness. You won't be able to hide anything from these children. You won't be able to lie to them either. And they will know immediately what the truth is. It is important to mention that crystal children know what is in your thoughts, and even more importantly, what is in your heart. This is another reason why they are so sensitive. Children with a crystal vibration have the ability to reflect things back to the universe that are of no importance to them. Not only will they reflect this energy back, they will reflect it in such a way that it's stronger than when it is taken in. Special note: if you are the parent of a crystal child, it is crucial that your child take in good energy at all times, or as much as possible. Your role is to help these children reflect harmony, peace, and oneness into the universe. This in turn will help all of us raise our vibrational frequencies and help spread peace around the world. Just as indigo children don't react to guilt, you will find crystal children do not react to fear. Fear is prevalent in almost everyone. The collective consciousness of our earth and universe magnifies this emotion. With terrorism on the rise, it's important now more than ever to let go of this age-old emotion. There is nothing to fear in this life, as all is unfolding as it should. Not even death should be feared, as there is no such thing. Most importantly, do not fear star children. These gifted youngsters will feel fear and magnify it back. If you have a lower vibrational energy, you may react strongly to these children with such a high vibrational frequency. Remember that the energy in the universe is changing for the better. As our vibrational frequencies are raised, a collective consciousness of peace and love are emanating into the universe. Crystal scouts that arrived decades ago came to test the waters for future star children. These scouts had much grief. They are different and possibly psychic. It has taken our society a long time to start recognizing these types of people and accepting them. We are all becoming crystalline bodies, whether we realize it or not. The continued energy shift that is happening is supporting this energy pattern and moving us all in that direction. This change in energy or energy shift is definitely wreaking havoc in the world. The many natural disasters that are occurring will continue to occur in the years to come as a result of the energy shift. This is part of the shift. It's important to remember during this time that we all must be good and kind souls. Always help others in need, to be honest and kind, and remember your good karma piggy bank. In time, crystal children will help us achieve our goals and understand the concept of oneness. Fear and greed are becoming emotions of the past and will be replaced by peace, harmony, and this sense of oneness. Doreen Virtue, noted author and expert on star children, has written about the characteristics of crystal children. She says these characteristics may include: they have large communicative eyes and an intense stare. They're highly affectionate. They begin speaking later in life, but often use telepathy and self-invented words or sign language to communicate. They love music and may even sing before talking. They are extremely connected to animals and nature. They are often very interested in rocks, crystals, and stones. They're extremely artistic. They are highly empathic and sensitive. They are forgiving and generous to others. They draw people and animals near them and love attention. They often have a good sense of balance and are fearful when exploring high places. They often see or hear angels and spirit guides, both their own and others. They dislike high-stress environments with many distractions. They dislike loud, sharp sounds. They dislike bright and natural lights. They often enjoy choosing their own meals and or when they eat them. They often speak about universal love and healing. They sometimes show healing gifts at young ages. They don't react well to sugar, caffeine, or unnatural foods or chemicals. They dislike fighting and refuse to keep an argument going for very long. They often show strength in telekinesis or psychokinesis. They often amplify emotional energies and they gain what they gain from their environment, such as negative energies. They can become uncomfortable when around electrical devices for too long, for instance, watching TV, computers, and sometimes resulting in a trance-like state. They sometimes seem clingy to their parents until they are 4 or 5 years old. They often stare at people for long periods of time, and this allows them to read a person and find out more about them through their own personal memories and energies. They can sometimes be manipulative and throw tantrums if they cannot create a reality that is good for them. They are easily overstimulated and need to meditate and be alone often to replenish themselves. They don't usually have trouble with fear or worry. They enjoy discussing spiritual and psychological topics. And they may appear to be looking at nothing or talking to no one, and that's a sign of clairvoyance and or clairaudience. Indigos and crystals work together to tear down archaic systems and build up new ones. Again, parents of these special children need to realize they agreed to bring these wise and powerful children into the world whose mission reaches out to the globe as a whole, and not just individuals or individual families. They are also here to work on the energy grid, raising vibrational frequencies to help facilitate global changes for a more peaceful earth. It's important to support these gifted young children and be cautious not to stress them or put them in a busy environment. Like indigos, crystal children will also help raise the vibrational frequency of their parents. Crystals have a way of drawing other people with the correct energy to interact into a family's life. Parents of a crystal child will benefit greatly with these incredible children through their powerful, loving, and creative energies. These children with their higher level of consciousness should be considered equals in families, and they should be involved in family issues and be allowed to give options and solutions to problems. Don't forget, they are on a much higher vibrational frequency than many of their parents. Vibrational frequencies. Vibrational frequency is the rate at which atoms and subparticles of a being vibrate. The higher this vibrational frequency is, the closer it is to the frequency of light. Your words and thoughts send out a vibration that attracts an experience of a similar vibration. If you send out fear, you attract fear. If you send out love, you attract love. Everything in the universe is energy, and energy vibrates at different rates. You have a unique vibration, which is the product of all the influences you have encountered. The influences you focus your intention on are those which determine your vibration. Negative vibrations are associated with the lower chakras. Negative vibrations include hatred, anger, doubt, fear, jealousy, envy, judgment, impatience, disharmony, imbalance, and insecurity. Positive vibrations are love, harmony, peace, balance, kindness, understanding, and compassion. The negative emotions are not bad. We all, at one time or another, experience emotions of a lower vibration. These emotions only become harmful when you base your words or actions upon them. You feel anger about something and still make a conscious choice to act out of love. When you do this, you are raising your vibration from one of anger to one of love. Changing your thoughts and actions will help raise your vibrational frequency. Another phenomenon associated with crystal children is delayed speech patterns. The fact is not surprising that delayed speech is raising in children that are incredibly psychic. Why would you need to talk when you can communicate with your mind? It is not uncommon to see crystal children that don't really speak until they're 3 or 4 years of age. Most parents are in touch with their children and know what they are communicating. These children may use sign language, sing, or make specific sounds to communicate. Like indigo children being diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, the medical profession also label crystal children. They will say that they have abnormal or delayed speech patterns. Parents should remember to look at the big picture. If children are successfully communicating at home and not having any problems, the medical profession should not try and make it a problem. The new generation of children in the 21st century cannot be labelled and stuck in a box. Most people are on the old energy grid. It's difficult to try and keep up with the energy and higher vibrational frequencies of the new souls coming here to help us. Some of our characteristics will seem abnormal, but rest assured they are not. It's important that healthcare professionals update their diagnosis and become more aware of what's happening around them. It may be difficult to understand energy and realize they're moving past medicine and things that will pull our vibrational frequencies to a lower level. People have been healing themselves with their own energies for quite some time. This trend will continue and even become more common in the decades to come. The medical profession should also understand why autism is on the rise. It's thought that the new crystal children with a higher vibrational frequency are unable to handle vaccinations. These souls have loose ethereal bodies, and the poison from the vaccines literally pushes them out of their bodies. They can protect these children by keeping their meridians balanced and by purging these toxins from their bodies by whatever alternative medicine you agree with. This may include getting their meridians balanced, chakras balanced, energy work, Reiki, or whatever you are comfortable with. It is important to purge toxins from your body within 24 to 48 hours after giving medicine, especially after giving your children vaccinations. This time frame is when it's easiest to purge toxins and do the least amount of damage to the body. After 48 hours, there may be some damage, but it will be more difficult to eliminate the toxins. It's important that both mum and dad get their meridians or energy balance before they have children. However, it's never too late to get energy work done, even if you are 70, 80, or 90 years of age. Crystal children are among the most connected, communicative, caring, and cuddly of any generation. They are quite philosophical and spiritually gifted. They display the unprecedented level of kindness and sensitivity to this world. Crystal children spontaneously hug and care for people in need. In the past, the vibrational frequency of the world has not been high enough to support these special souls. The energy shift that is occurring is changing the vibrational frequencies, and these frequencies have finally become high enough to support these children. As mentioned earlier, Steve Rother of www.lightworker.com has been communicating for many years with a group of light beings who very fittingly call themselves the group. They speak of the new planet Earth that is coming and also have a lot to say about crystal children. According to them, the Indigos came to shake up our old paradigms and to make room for the next wave of evolution, the children of crystal vibration. At the beginning of their messages in 1996, the group said that if they could make the planet safe for their return, they would come. Apparently, despite outward experiences, the planet must be getting safer, for recently they have said that the crystal children are starting to enter. The children of crystal vibration are what you would consider to be the magical children with abilities that you may have yet to understand. The attributes of crystal children are simply twofold. They are extremely powerful and yet extremely vulnerable. They are highly evolved beings and have an understanding of what simple energy really is. Feats that you think impossible may seem like child's play to humans carrying the crystal vibration. You will begin to see magical abilities in these human children that you have never seen before. Their basic understanding of energy will make it possible to manipulate energy in new ways. Many crystal children can levitate inanimate objects with their minds. They also have problems with electricity. Your crystal child will go through many watches, phones and clocks next to the bed. This is because their vibrational energy is on a much higher frequency and it affects electrical objects. At first, crystal children will tend to gather in groups where they can hold space for each other. They form groups and grow together, supporting each other energetically. They will do it by themselves, so parents of crystal children will not need to worry about finding the best environment for their children. Expect to see groups of magical children with abilities that exceed far beyond the norm. As time goes on, you may see an acclimation of this energy, and it will become more accustomed to the odd stories that will circulate about the strange new abilities of some children. The group goes on to say that what they are beginning to see so far is only the scouts who have been sent ahead to test the waters, and that the powerful as they are carrying only the first hints of the energy that is to come. They will be able to read our minds and also our hearts. There will be no more secrets among people. They will have a sensitivity beyond our comprehension, but this sensitivity will be a gift as well as a challenge. The group continues saying, unlike the children of indigo vibration, the crystal children are so sensitive that they may feel threatened by the harshness of what people are holding in their hearts. Some will find safety in retreating and going within. There are some people who will think this is a sign of weakness and may even attempt to exploit these gentle beings. Let us set our minds at ease when we tell you that exploitation will not be possible. The children of crystal vibration are powerful beyond our understanding, even though they may have great difficulty understanding and interacting. They will always know their true power and who they are. According to the group, their biggest challenge will be their inability to deal with other people's fear. Fear is based on a belief in lack, and these children will enter with a belief system that knows nothing of lack and therefore nothing of fear. We will need help in dealing with the general fear around them, which means that they will need to start dealing with our own deeply ingrained habits of fear, separation, limitation, and lack. These crystal children and scouts will know how to heal. They can also do this for other people. They know of others like them because they can sense them within their own minds, but sometimes feel isolated physically. They're in touch with fairies, angels, multi-dimensional cosmic beings, and they have a hard time finding people they can trust, and have learned that it is not always safe to share too much in their world with adults around them. They have great difficulty relating to the self-centered and limited perspectives that human societies operates within. Most people find them very threatening in their vulnerability and directness. They feel frustrated because they know they're here to help, but fear that if they unleash their powers to assist the world, it could leave much chaos in its wake. And here is a story from a crystal mum and daughter. When my daughter was first born, the most amazing thing about her were her eyes. She has these eyes that look straight into the depth of your soul with such happiness and understanding. As she grew older, she cared for her dollies, put the spiders safely from the inside of the house to the outside, and gave all kinds of gift and food to her fairy friends outside. At 3 years of age, she began laying her dad and I on our tummies and pinching our backs. She would then roll us over and pinch our tummies. I know now this was some kind of energy treatment she was giving us. She would often say someone's name and the phone would ring, and it would be that person. She would always say things like, "When is my little brother coming, Mama?" Or, "I was your mumma once, when you were my mummy." Her dad and I knew how special she is and how important it is for us to bring her up, much differently than the ways we were brought up. Some days we don't know what we're doing. We just do what feels right and we make the rest up as we go along. We hope we can help her achieve her life's purpose and be happy, things that all the parents want for their children. The difference between indigos and crystals lie in their vibrational energies, and their auras. Crystals have even higher frequencies than indigos, and their auras contain unique colours never experienced before, or at least not that we have ever been aware of. These children have strong emotional and spiritual needs, and their high vibrations make it difficult for them to participate in the world as it exists. When things get too tough for them, they simply cannot cope, and they retreat to the peace and safety of their own inner world. Our school systems, social structures, families, and ways of life have followed patterns that have not changed for many generations, and yet they are no longer serve our needs. These children will make it very clear to us where we need to make changes and what needs to happen next. One aspect of the crystal energy is that crystal children require a great deal of physical attention, which involves being held and touched in loving and nurturing ways. Crystals are so loving and gentle that they need a lot of love from their parents, families, and caregivers. Their needs include a great deal of physical contact that is more than just touching and holding. There is a strong energy exchange with physical contact, and from what they get the reassurance that they need to know that they are here at the right time. there is love for them and they will be safe. This will help meet the crystal children's needs so that they can be prepared for their journey when it is time for them to begin their work here to teach us the ways of love and peace. Around 2000, the first true crystal children began to incarnate. This was because, as mentioned earlier, the new energy grid on the planet could now support these clear and powerful beings who have higher vibrational frequency. Each crystal child that is born on a new energy grid and has the potential to be fully awakened and conscious master at the level of the Christ consciousness. Crystal children are spiritual masters in their own right. The crystal children are beautiful. They generally have large clear eyes that seem to look into your soul because, in fact, this is what they are doing. They are often calm and are focused, but they can become hyperactive with their energy. When their energy is out of alignment. They are very loving and nurturing and enjoy sharing their energies with others who might have need for them. They are powerful and often have no fear at all. They can be very sensitive to food and to the environment as they are born with the clear systems needed on the new energy grid. They are clairvoyant and psychic. They see angels and spirit guides, and they can often feel and see the future. They know about past lives, and they can often talk about who they were in past lives. They are also connected as a group, and much of their work for the planet is done on the levels of the higher consciousness as a group. This is one reason why crystal children are sometimes tired and irritable and grumpy. They have often been working very hard on the higher energy levels to help the shift. The crystal children are moving in our hearts and upgrading our energy systems. The crystals are helping us to claim our power and open our hearts and to anchor ourselves firmly in the new energy grid. They are teaching us to accept our spiritual gifts as our birthright and to see the creation of miracles as a normal activity. They are teaching us to honor our planet and ourselves and to see the beauty and the wonder and the joy of all creation. We are learning to live as they do, in the present moment, not influenced by past or future. We are learning to live from the heart, to forgive and exercise tolerance and unconditional acceptance.